Jeff Koinage, and this is Jeff Koinage live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. And if it's Wednesday, you know it's all about Politics 101. Tonight, the second in a series of debates that we have put together for the folks who are running for governor of Nairobi. I must add at this point, I had invited all the candidates running for Nairobi governor. Only 2 showed up out of a dozen. That's okay. Maybe they're afraid of one of my guests. Maybe they just don't want to debate right now. Either way, the show must go on. So, on the far end, you know him, former personal assistant to the, what was it? What were you?
A senior advisor to the Prime Minister.
Former senior advisor to the former Prime Minister.
Yes.
He's a solicitor and a
Unless
barrister.
you want to be a cartel.
Author of 2 books, Peeling Back the Mask and Kidneys for the King. Practices law in Canada right now, but comes to Kenya every now and then. And when he does show up, you know he's got to come on the bench. He's been saying to no end that he's running for governor of Nairobi. And he has a support base, especially on social media. Will it translate on the ground? The only person who's dared to meet him face to face, Mama Supu, the MD of Adopt a Light. She ran for a couple of offices in Nairobi unsuccessfully, but she wants to run for governor. As opposed to Nairobi Women's Rep, Benjin Dolo, she wants to be governor of Nairobi County. Let me ask you a question. By the end of the show, we're going to ask, who do you think will make the best governor of Nairobi? Tell us your choice as we go on. Twitter handles are at Miguna Miguna, at Esther Passaris, at Koinage Jeff. The hashtag we're using tonight, Race for Nairobi. Although some of you have started your own hashtag, kind of amusing, kind of familiar. Miguna, drain the swamp. How original. Sit back. It is time. Good to see you, folks. Look, we're going to conduct this. For the first time, I brought notes, and I want to do this as with as much civility as we can, okay? So first, I'm going to start. I'm going to read my notes for the first time ever. I'm going to give you both 2 minutes each to give your vision to the people of Nairobi about what you got. What is your vision in general? 2 minutes each. And I will start with you, Miguna Miguna. That is your camera, your vision.
Good evening, Nairobi. And thank you very much, Jeff. Welcome, Passaris, to the show. I'm going to address you as Nairobians, the patriotic, majestic people of Nairobi. As I said previously, we have reached a critical point where the people of this city will have to make a choice between the rapacious cartels that we have had since 1963, that is 55 years ago. Research after research have established that the most tractable problem facing this city is corruption. Corruption is the most intractable problem that has drained hundreds of billions of shillings that could have been used to create jobs. Corruption has drained billions of shillings that could have been used to create infrastructure, to grow the economy, and make Nairobi prosperous. Corruption has denied Nairobi the money for not just housing and infrastructural development, but also a clean environment. Garbage is everywhere. And so I sit here before Nairobi today to announce that the first problem I am going to resolve and solve is eradicate corruption at City Hall. The second problem I'm going to have to deal with is the issue of unemployment, which is currently afflicting more than 55% of the youth, women, and virtually everyone. And to do that, I have to unveil a very dramatic infrastructural development. I'm going to unveil a very progressive housing program that is going to accommodate the homeless, the marginalized, the impoverished, the unemployed. Then we are going to build roads that meet international standards, that are going to move the traffic. Then we will deal with the light rail, which is missing in this city.
Okay, 2 minutes are up,
So,
Miguna.
but let me just conclude. So, in a nutshell, you have on my side a leader who has a vision with integrity, and on the other side, the usual cartels. You will have a time to make a choice. Make the right decision.
Okay, Esther Passaris, same camera.
Good evening, Nairobi. I've been a resident of this city for over 25 years. I have actually worked with the Nairobi County and provided a service that was missing, which was lighting. And today, you can see that the government has taken over the lighting initiative and most streets and informal settlements are lit. There are a lot of issues in this city, and I don't want to say that I promise you everything, because at the end of the day, there's budgets and there's limits. But the one thing that we have to do is provide good, efficient service. As a woman, I would like to ensure that water is in the houses and it's clean and it's safe. I would like to ensure that garbage is collected and garbage is recycled. Jobs are created through infrastructure development, housing. I feel terrible every time I hear of an incest in a slum home, or when I see children going to schools that are made out of mabati in this capital city. We should dedicate some funds to ensure that we develop Nairobi, but across the board, not just for the middle class, where you put roads. I look at the roads. I was on Jogo Road yesterday, and also on Outer Ring Road, and I noticed that we're putting up these big roads. And right now, my main concern is we don't have enough pavements for people to walk. We need markets for people to trade. We have to deal with the hawkers. For me, the Bill of Rights is going to guide me. I do not feel that we should kick hawkers out of the city just because, unless we have an alternative for them. At the end of the day, they have a right to trade. They have a right to earn a livelihood. And just pushing them away and saying we cannot have them is wrong. I want an inclusive city where everybody counts. The Bill of Rights provides that right for every citizen in this country.
2 minutes.
Thank you.
Done?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this part I like best. Miguna, what question would you want to pose to Esther Passaris? Anything. Anything. This is your time to attack her, question her. One thing you'd want to tell her right now to her face.
No, I believe this was a debate for all candidates. And,
but they're not here.
I do not want to attack. No, I'm going to talk about them whether they are here or not. Nobody told them not to come here. So I will address them whether they are here or not.
But for
we
now,
have a sitting governor.
We'll get to them.
No.
Right,
I'm not going to attack.
Can I do it?
I'm not going to attack Esther Passaris. I did not come here to attack her. I did not come here to attack her, and I have no interest in attacking her. So you cannot tell me in a debate, I want you to attack Esther Passaris. I will not do it.
No, he asked you to ask me a question.
So, I could ask you a question.
Yes.
You can't force me to ask you a question.
No. But he's
I
the
want
host.
to deal with issues.
Go on.
I want to deal with issues.
I'm going to get to the issues in a bit.
I am going to deal with the issues.
Okay, if
Yes.
Kidero was here, what would you ask him?
Kidero, I would ask many questions, but let me say the three that I would ask him. Kidero was elected in 2013 after he had bankrupted Mumias. And of course, it came out after the elections. And he has spent 4 years doing absolutely nothing, but stealing money, public money, left, right, and center with these cartels. I would ask him, Kidero, why would you want Nairobi residents to be burdened with your incompetence and your looting spree for another 5 years? That's one question I would ask him.
All right.
The second question I would ask him is, Kidero, I heard you today looking for 65 or 69 billion that you claim is owed to the people of Nairobi by the national government. And you'd like the national government to release that, claiming that once that is released, and Esther was supporting Kidero, once that one is released, they would create jobs and infrastructure. Well, under his watch, the Auditor General has documented more than 100 billion lost in land and in actual money. Why would you want the national government to release 69 when you can't account for 100 billion which has been lost under your watch?
By the way, Governor, if you're listening, or Walter Mungare, if you're listening and you want to respond, please do that on our Twitter handles.
They should not be able to respond from outside. If they wanted, they should be here. My friend, you can't give people who decide not to come for debates to be responding from outside. Let them come.
Listen.
No, that's not fair.
If they can't make it here on their own because they're scared of you...
Well, if they're scared of me, they should get out of the way. They should surrender so that I can go and take over at City Hall. You can see my boys, they're ready. We are going.
Going where?
So we are going to take over City Hall. So if he has already surrendered, I'm ready to go.
Esther, question for Miguna?
Okay, I mean, I want to read something that I picked that Miguna had written in his book. I, please save me from Kibaki. Please don't let me go back to that man. I don't want to go back to Kibaki. Please save me from Kibaki. Raila broke down, cried, torrents of tears flowing freely down his cheeks. He was shaking uncontrollably, and it was about 3:30 p.m. on April 6, 2008. Everyone in the room was stunned. Now, I just want to ask you something. Raila, if it wasn't for Raila giving you a job, you would never have been known. The name Miguna Miguna would not even exist. So for me, I want to know, if you have no loyalty for something that was said in private, all right, where you actually were an employee of this person, how can you actually betray somebody? And if you have no loyalty for somebody who basically gave you status, all right, which you never would have had without him, I want to know, how can you actually be trusted by Nairobi residents?
Answer the question.
Has she finished her question?
Yes.
First of all, Jeff, this was 1986, November 13th, 1987. 1987. That is November 1987. All right?
Yeah, is that you in the picture?
That is me in the picture at the University of Nairobi. I was a student leader, and I was in the headline in 1987 when Raila was in detention. My friend here, who is my age, was nowhere. What was she doing in 1987? I was fighting for multi-party democracy in 1987. She's my age. She was hiding under the bed. She was nowhere to be seen. I never heard of her. We fought during the second liberation. With Raila Odinga in detention, Miguna outside. Miguna was arrested and put in detention. Miguna came out, was released. Miguna was expelled from the University of Nairobi. Miguna went into exile. Did he stop? He continued fighting for multi-party democracy by leading the Committee of Democracy in Kenya. Who were one of my members? Willy Mutunga. Miguna was a teenager at that time, leading veterans. So when somebody says, Raila made me, nobody would have known me. Just because you are ignorant and you can't read and you have not done your research, you can't blame Miguna for your ignorance. Number two, to appoint somebody as senior advisor and your chief strategist means the guy is knowledgeable, the guy is competent. Out of 40 million Kenyans, whom did he choose? He could have chosen Esther Passaris. Did he choose Esther Passaris as his advisor? He chose Miguna.
Okay.
Miguna worked as his advisor. Thirdly, lastly, so I reported what happened at the Pentagon. What kind of a betrayal is that? I told the truth. Let Esther say it did not happen. She was not there. She can't speak about things she did not know. She emerged from nowhere that is she Mama Supu. She's selling beauty. She thinks beauty gives you credibility and integrity to go for leadership. Esther Passaris is nothing but a flower girl.
Esther, I'm going to give you 1 minute to respond real quick.
Yeah.
He says you're a flower girl.
Let me tell you something. I lit Nairobi. On his website, I'm told he says he's going to be the light of Nairobi. As far as I'm concerned, Nairobi is already lit. The guy is absolutely ignorant. He comes here and he thinks he can bash everybody. By the way, have you received an email from my lawyer? Have you received an email from my lawyer?
Why don't you ask your lawyer?
Okay, here is the letter.
Why don't you?
Here is the letter served I'm suing him for defamation.
For what?
For what? Because he calls me cartels. You know,
Yes, you're a cartel.
I just hope he has enough
Esther,
money.
you're a cartel. You brought it.
I just hope he has enough money to pay everybody that will sue him.
Are you suing
or he
me?
has good
Are you
enough
suing
furniture
Miguna?
that we can auction him.
Are you suing
yes,
him?
Definitely.
For what? What did he
Because,
say?
let me tell you something. He put an advert on the Twitter handle saying that we are all cartels, the thieves, he's going to deal with the thieves, he's going to deal with the drug dealers. I mean, you don't need to stand out by bashing people. If you have a vision for Nairobi, speak about it. Why do you need to step on everybody else? I mean, at the end of the day, you're in this city, and the governor of this city is Kidero. And if you have issues with him, then let that be the side. Focus on the issues. I mean, let me tell you something.
Is that a question?
Hold on.
I thought this was a
excuse me.
session for
Let me
questions.
tell you.
No, she's making a
No,
statement.
is that a question?
She's making a statement.
I don't have a
No,
question for you.
You said.
And I hope you take this because it's served.
No.
Yes,
I
it is
don't
served.
know. I don't care about that.
You should.
Because you lose all your cases. So what if
Let me
you
tell
sue
you
me?
something.
You can sue me 10 times. It doesn't matter.
This is a
But can I
man-
respond?
Yes.
Let me respond. Esther Passaris,
He knows me so well.
on the 26th of October, 2005,
Oh, wow.
you are named in Parliament as having obtained a contract to adopt a light and procedurally. Esther Passaris, because you asked for it, so you are very corrupt. In fact, your files, I've done research on you, your files in City Hall stink to the high heavens. Number two, you asked for it.
You know what?
Let
It's
me
fantastic.
respond.
It's fantastic.
You
He's just
talk.
building
Let
my
me
case.
respond.
He's building my case.
Let me respond, Esther Passaris,
Continue.
because you asked for it
Continue.
on live TV.
I need it. I need it.
Yes, you need
Yes,
it,
exactly.
and you will
Continue.
get it.
Continue
you will get
defaming
it.
me.
You will get it, Esther
defaming me.
Passaris. Esther Passaris on the 27th of December,
How do you know all these dates?
2007, because I was there with her, at the Pentagon House, in the impending days when Raila's victory was almost certain, you announced to the gathering that after Raila is inaugurated, you will take 30 days sex holiday in Seychelles.
Sex
A
holiday.
woman
Sex holiday.
who has absolutely no integrity, a socialite bimbo whose only claim to fame is because she is looking for billionaire sponsors. Yesterday it was Mwangi of Equity. The other day it was Gichuru of the former electricity Kenya Power, crying for a man to marry you because you believe that the man promised to marry you, and for that reason, you took a man to court. Esther Passaris, you can sue me 1,000,000 times and it would not bother me.
Oh. On that note, Esther, I'm going to have you respond after the break. We're going to have to take a break. And that's a disclaimer, by the way. The views are those of the guests, not mine, not KTN, nobody. Goodness gracious me. Miguna.
A revolutionary, you don't play with revolutionaries.
Clearly.
If you try,
Keep tweeting at Miguna Miguna, at Esther Passaris, at Koinage Jeff, the hashtag Race for Nairobi, or, if you prefer, Miguna, drain the swamp.
and it will be drained dry, and then cleaned, and then made productive.
Are you our Trump?
Well, I'm better than Trump. Trump is my student.
Jeff Koinage, live at the Villa Rosa
He's a
Kempinski.
certified revolutionary.
Takes a break. We'll
And I
be
don't
back.
take bites from mosquitoes like Esther.
We'll be back in a moment. Break. And welcome back to Jeff Koinage live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski on this Politics 101 Wednesday. And I tell you, if you're just joining us on KTN Home and KTN News, the show is literally on fire. Twitter is aflame. We're going to go straight to the tweets because Miguna Miguna and Esther Passaris are in the house and they're literally going at each other's throats. Ian Kenyan, you say Esther Passaris can't stand Miguna's heat. She just rattled a snake. Kibuya and Joroge, you say, so what? This statement has no limbs or legs. Last I checked, this was not criminal, whatever that means, okay? Frederick Okango, you say, oh my God, protect Esther Passaris from Miguna Miguna. This is going south. And then Agindo O. Nicholas, you say Miguna will never even be a cattle dip chairman. I'm sorry, you have no room in Nairobi. Woo, I tell you. Roderick, you say Esther Passaris is going to scratch someone. Oh my goodness. All right, folks, keep tweeting at Miguna Miguna, at Esther Passaris, at Koinage Jeff. By the way, I must mention at this point, I had invited all the gubernatorial candidates for Nairobi. 2 showed up. The other 9, well, they chose not to, which is fine. Show must go on, and it is. And we're going on. We're going to get to issues right now because I have notes, actually, on the issues affecting Nairobi County. Everything from corruption to unemployment, traffic, education, which they both mentioned at the top of the show. But I have to give Esther Passaris just 1 minute to respond to the...
That means you're going to give her twice. I did not ask any questions.
Miguna, you mentioned the sex holiday.
But I did not ask any questions.
No, but she has to respond. No, you're wasting time. Now you're wasting time.
No, I'm going to allow you.
Okay.
But you are not being fair.
You refused to ask a question directly. You asked
because
Kidero.
I didn't think it was relevant.
So now she asked you.
Yeah.
Passaris, go.
Okay, I mean, the thing is, he is so full of rumors and rumors and rumors. All right? First of all, before he starts peeling the mask of everyone else, he should peel his own mask. For me, I feel he has no respect for women, and 50% of the voters in this city are women, okay?
They said the same thing about Trump.
No, the thing is, let me tell you something.
He has something. Card will not work.
Excuse me, I thought you were a gentleman, but obviously you're not.
You have no support from women.
All right.
You are the most unpopular woman in this city. You don't know that?
Okay.
Well, I'm telling you today.
Let me tell you something, Miguna.
You are basically chased away from ODM screaming by women.
Okay, you know.
You forgot that?
Let me tell
ODM women chase you away.
Okay, Miguna, let her talk.
You have absolutely zero support from women.
Okay, let me tell you something. First of all, let's get back to the lighting, which he says Parliament did whatever they did. In case he doesn't know, I have a commendation, Order of the Golden Warrior, from the government of Kenya for lighting up Nairobi. So I was recognized by the president, Kibaki, for actually lighting up Nairobi. He has no commendation whatsoever. And another thing is, I have never raped anyone, okay? I think he should look at himself and what he stands for before he starts accusing and attacking everyone
Everybody's
else.
Raping you, Passaris.
Let me tell you
Everybody's raping you.
Do me a favor. Do me a favor.
Everybody wants to rape you, Passaris. You are so beautiful. Everybody wants to rape Passaris.
Miguna, okay.
You know, let me tell you something.
She brought it. She mentioned it.
Let me tell you something.
I'm going to have to use my extinguisher, folks, but let's get to issues. Can we get to issues?
Yes,
let's get to issues.
Let's
get to issues.
Miguna,
corruption in Nairobi County, ghost workers, tenderpreneurs, Kanjo Kingdom. What are you going to do about it? Tell us real quick.
Okay. First of all, this woman is very, very corrupt. All right? And I'm going to deal with corrupt people, including her. Because the thing she calls commendations, her company is just a private company doing business, being paid to do business.
Get to the point, Miguna.
I'll get to the point. The first thing I will do, and it is documented in the manifesto, the only man with a manifesto in the city, is to do a forensic audit of everyone. All right?
That was done by Kisia already.
No, let me finish. Okay, let me finish and let me finish my part. Kisia cannot do anything. It's not qualified to do anything. A forensic audit by a professional forensic auditor, which has nothing to do with the government, completely equidistant.
Once you do that,
once I do that, we would identify all the fake contracts, all the cartels, all the corrupt government officers, all the money that have been stolen. We will then present the evidence to the DPP for arrest of these people. Because you see, the problem with Kenya right now is that the EACC is not doing its job. The EACC has been captured by the cartels. The police is not doing its job. The DPP then waits for these investigative agencies to bring the evidence. The court waits for the files after people have been charged to prosecute. But the files have been mangled and the evidence is not adequate.
So why are you taking it to the DPP then?
Because in terms of prosecution, the DPP has the constitutional mandate to prosecute.
And if nothing is done?
If nothing is done, well, Kenyans would know that I am doing something because, number one, the people that would be working for City Hall who have not been fired would be fired. The properties that have been acquired illegally, there is an authority, a constitutional legal authority, that is supposed to be repossessing land, for example, that were acquired illegally. That evidence would be going to that authority for purposes of repossession.
Stop.
Look, I mean, right now, there are lots of vacancies in the anti-corruption. That's where he needs to go.
Okay, what would you do about corruption, Esther?
Let me tell you something. First of all, I think right now corruption is the buzzword, but I really don't want to focus my attention on corruption. I want to focus my attention on services.
I'll get to the services. I want to know, what will you do about Kanjo Kingdom, about the cartels, the mafia that controls Nairobi City County? What would you do?
Let me tell you what, there are institutions that you can invite inside the county. And I think we would have to partner with institutions that are mandated to deal with that issue, all right? Streamline the systems that are already there. There are some good systems, there are some good workers. There is a lot of corruption going on in there, but I don't think that's the buzzword that we should just say that's what we're going to focus on. I think there are entities that are supposed to focus on corruption,
okay.
And that's where I would leave it.
Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
The other day, you were seen, or you took a tour of the city with Governor Evans Kidero.
Okay.
And then at the end of it all, you were quoted as saying, I will support Governor Kidero until the end of his term. His term ends on April 8th, 2017, on election day, whether he'll be re-elected or not.
Okay, let me tell you something, Jeff. Okay, right now I want to run for governor. I cannot neglect the things that are happening in this city. I went to Kayole, Calvary Covenant School. It had been demolished by Council Passaris. Here is a pre-unit which serves about 100 students. I decided to actually go with the bishop from Calvary Covenant School, went into City County, met with the officers that are there, the lands office, the governor, the housing office, and actually my idea was, here we have a school that's been demolished. Why are we demolishing schools?
But you said you were going, why did you go with Kidero?
Why did I go with Kidero? He's the governor. He's the one who has to stop this.
Did you support him?
School. Let me tell you what, at that particular point, my mandate was to help the students in Calvary ensure that their school is not demolished. Somebody was after that land. Kidero needs to deal with it. I can't deal with it. A true leader puts differences aside and solves the problem. So when I invited Kidero to come to Calvary, he came, he spoke, he said he's going to ensure that they get the title and he's going to ensure that they get protection. Because the demolition was conducted by Kidero's people.
What do you mean by you will support Kidero till the end of his term?
Let me tell you something. Support Kidero. Right now, I went to a few other schools. There are lots of community-based schools that are Mabati sheds. And I said to Kidero, look, I know you need 60 billion from the government. For me, I want some of that money, right, over the next 1 year to go to the community-based schools. If you can tell me that you're going to put 1 billion shillings to helping these community-based schools acquire their land, build the structure so that they can get teachers, they can get food, they can get laptops, and they can school in decent areas. Jeff, we've got children, thousands of children in this city, schooling under Mabati with clay on the floor, and no facilities from the government. So I want to solve that problem now,
okay, that billion
not
shillings,
wait until next year.
That billion shillings, who is Kidero to give you that billion?
No,
who
let
are you?
me tell you something. Kidero is the governor. If he understands that the children of this city are studying, the capital city, it's a shame. The children are studying in Mabati sheds, and they're not getting any services from the government because the school is not compliant. So let's work on a program to make it compliant. If I can achieve that within the next 6 months or a year, for me, I would have served Nairobi.
Are you supporting Kidero to the end of his term?
Let me tell you, he's the governor. And as long as he is there and I need services, let me say, Kangemi Market burnt down. All right, I was there to see the people of Kangemi. All right, right now we've got so many problems in this city. The governor and the 10 ministers in that county are the only people that can help us solve those problems.
Are you going to run against him or are you going to support him?
I'm going to run against him when the elections are there. Jeff, we cannot politic 5 years of the term. Right now, it's not a time to politic. Right now, it's a time to give people services.
Miguna.
Yes, this is a picture that Passaris took with Kidero, a selfie.
Could you zoom in on that?
It's nice that he follows me. It's nice that he follows me.
Excuse me.
It's a selfie.
She tweeted it.
And why not?
So I'm not following you. I'm showing a picture that you took with Kidero. a selfie.
Is that a sin to
No,
take a picture with
I was
Kidero?
very quiet when you are talking. Can
No,
you
you
please
were
keep
not.
quiet?
Yeah, let him talk. Let him talk.
Please, I did not interfere with
Okay,
you.
go
Let
on.
me talk.
What's your
Please.
point?
So the point
What's
is
your
this.
point?
Clearly, this is a lady that is supporting Kidero. She's supporting Kidero despite
I
the
was
fact
very
that...
proud of the
Let
governor
me finish,
for
please.
actually coming to
Let
the
him-
school.
let him
Can I
finish.
finish,
No, I was
please?
very proud of the governor for coming to the school, addressing the
I
problem.
know that. Okay.
And
But
basically
Miguna-
promising
Miguna's
the
trying to say
title
something.
deed.
Go
Let
on.
me
Oh,
finish.
Jeff, honestly.
This is a selfie taken by her
And what's
to
wrong with
show
that?
people how close they are. These are buddies.
You could have been there, Miguna.
Because I don't want to
Look,
be with
Miguna
thieves.
cannot walk
I
Nairobi.
cannot be with
He goes
cartels.
from Canada
Can
to
I
Runda
finish?
to just
Can I
Koinage
finish?
Go
life.
on,
And
go
that's
on.
it.
Jeff,
Go on.
Jeff, you allowed
Oh, please.
Passaris to speak for a
Cry,
very long
baby,
time.
cry,
Okay.
baby.
Can I
Please
please
cry.
Speak.
Can I speak?
Speak. And quickly, get that point across. We
No,
need
can't
no,
get the
we have
I'm
point
going
other
to
issues.
get my point across. So this is a flower girl for Kidero.
Oh,
She's
wow.
probably paid and sponsored by Kidero to stand.
How did you say that, Miguna?
Okay, I'm saying that because, number one, she doesn't have a party. She has not said she's standing
You
as
don't
an
have a
independent.
party?
I'm standing as an independent. I've declared that. You have not declared
She
that.
tried to register
She
a
has-
party.
Just wait, but she didn't.
don't have
She
to.
doesn't have a party.
There's
She has
not-
not
it's
said
not
she's
necessary
independent.
right now.
She's not said she's independent. She said she's supporting Kidero. She has no manifesto. She has absolutely nothing.
Okay,
It's
hold-
just
Hold
mouth.
on, hold on.
Number two,
Mouth is you.
number two.
We
no,
get your
let me
point. We get
finish.
your point.
Now I'm getting my point. You allow me to get my
You
point.
are giving him too much time. Honestly. No wonder
Excuse
nobody wants to
me,
come here.
number three, my friend.
I'm not your friend.
The lady
Please.
has already said she's supporting Kidero
Oh,
up to
lady
the
now.
end of his term. You're a lady. You're 50.
Oh, thank
we are
you.
52. You're a lady. You want me to call you what? A man? So she's a lady. She said
He's
she's supporting
definitely
Kidero
not
up to the
intelligent.
end of his
He is not
his term.
intelligent. I hope Kenyans
So the,
can
Okay.
see
the question is,
Can
the
we
question
get-
is, no, let me speak.
Yes.
My friend, you brought an issue. She has spoken on
You've
it.
made your point.
I'm going to speak on
You've
it.
made your point.
So a man, Kidero is a man who has presided over an unprecedented looting spree in this city. Now, his CFO, Chief of Finance, Kiamba, stole 1.6 billion in 2 years. He's facing charges in court. His Chief of Staff, Mr. Wainaina, has stolen the size of Nairobi. He's facing charges in court. Kidero is a man with no credibility and a thief. If somebody says, I'm supporting a thief, why do you want to stand as governor if you're supporting a
Okay,
thief?
we get
Because
your
you're a
point.
thief.
Kidero's not here to defend himself, but I'm sure
You
he's
can only
listening.
support a thief if you're a thief.
Okay, next issue. This city is famous for its endemic traffic. Esther Passaris, what would you do? What would you do to ease congestion? Because the man hours that are lost every single day in traffic are just uncountable. Go on.
You know, I mean, we need definitely a bus lane, and we need discipline on our roads. And I think the infrastructure is not able to cope with the number of cars that we have in this city. So, the government's talking about toll booths, etc., to decongest Nairobi. But I feel when the bypass is open, we might actually have a solution. Right now, to say we're going to have trams, so we're going to have rails in the city, I don't see that. I don't see the space. We have a water table underneath. We cannot have tubes underneath. And we don't have the capacity or the money to do that right now. What Nairobi needs is a good system of transport that will enable people like you and I who
What
actually...
system is that?
Well, I mean, look, at the moment, right now, you have matatus, okay? You and I are not going to get into the matatus, and the matatus have a lot of indiscipline. So what we need to do is have bigger buses, and then also have them going all over the city, find a way to get bus stops all over, and have a bus lane. So that when you have a bus lane and it moves faster and it's going everywhere, then people will feel more comfortable to climb into those buses.
Would you get rid of matatus?
Matatus, I think those very small minibuses, really, we have to do away with them because they're too many and the city cannot cope with it.
Miguna, transport, traffic.
Transport, that's a beautiful question. This is where I am good. In 1963, Bangkok, Thailand was the size of Migori town and Muranga town. Nairobi was probably a city already in 1963. Now, for people who have traveled or who read, Bangkok is a swamp, really a swamp, a lagoon. In 2016, as we speak, Bangkok is a thriving city with a tube, which is the subway system. with an LRT, which is a light rail transit system, with a public bus system, with a train bus system.
You're talking Bangkok. We're talking Nairobi.
No, but I'm giving
What
you an
would you
example.
do?
Please, please. When people say here, and they say all over, that there is high water table in Nairobi, and you cannot have a subway system. When the Thais have a subway system in Bangkok, which is a swamp, and Thailand, Bangkok was the smaller size, was smaller than Nairobi, then you know these people do not have vision. We can have, so I'm going to have a subway system here.
You are.
I'm going to have
Is
a
that part of your drain the swamp?
No, the drain the swamp is for the cartels.
Oh.
But there's no swamp in Nairobi that needs to be drained for a subway system. You just have to know technology. Look at Amsterdam. It's built on a reclaimed ocean.
It's underwater.
It's underwater.
Yeah.
So there is nobody who can say, who is sensible, who has studied, who has traveled, that can tell you that.
Okay,
Manhattan, New York
how soon would you
is
initiate
an island.
that? How soon would you initiate that?
Immediately I get into office, I will have a strategic plan done in terms of feasibility study done, engineers to come up with the most efficient way of doing it.
You know that would take like 5-10 years.
No,
you know
it won't. Because the subway system in New York, in Montreal, or in Amsterdam, they were built under 10 years. All you need is break the ground, unveil the infrastructural development, fund it, and it will be done.
So that's 2 terms, right?
So no, that's not 2 terms. That's actually 1 term. I said Montreal was done in 6 years. This, you can leave after it is almost
Would you get rid
completed.
of matatus, Miguna?
But no, I can't speak about getting rid of matatus, but they will not get into the city. The matatus should not get into the city. The matatus should be bringing people and leaving them in the outskirts of the city. Then you have a system of transportation system within the city. The light rail system, the train, the buses, that should be able to, and the subway should be able to take care of the city.
Okay.
Then I will remove all the roundabouts and install lights that function, that are efficient.
What about Kidero's grass?
What do you mean? That has nothing to do with transport.
Oh, sorry, okay.
And it is not Kidero's grass because he did not take his looted money to buy the grass. It's our grass.
Esther, you have 1 minute to respond to that.
Do you know, I mean, it's pies in the sky, okay? I mean, the budget of the county government right now is about between 15 and 40 billion. They've got a huge debt right now to pay as well. And for me, when you're talking about these grand plans, you know, we've got a Vision 2030, you've got the central government, you've got, you cannot come in isolation and say, I'm going to give you this and I'm going to give you this. I mean, he's talking about manifestos. For me, we've had manifestos and manifestos and manifestos. At the end of the day...
Well, you don't have one.
Well, I don't need one because at the end of the day...
So how will the people put you to account when they have nothing concrete that they can say, you gave us this, you did not deliver?
Look, we've had...
It's just words.
Let me tell you something. You're the one with a lot of words.
This is written.
It's written, yes. Okay,
yeah, it's
fine.
Written.
You have
it's not
written,
words.
It is words because
it's
in
a
the
document.
end, nobody is going to be able to.
Anybody who has gone to school know the value of a document.
Or listen, Moi had a manifesto.
No, Moi
right?
didn't.
Kidero had a manifesto.
Moi didn't.
What has he done with his manifesto?
Moi was a dictator.
Okay? You
he did not have a manifesto.
You know,
he ruled us for 24 years.
You know,
by
this
force.
reminds me a lot of the Trump-Hillary debates. You know that there's a lot of similarities.
Jeff, let me tell you something. You know, we have to tell the city of Nairobi the truth. The truth is, you cannot give them a Trump system in 6 years. You're not going to be able to do it even in 10 years. The government has a plan. You don't come in and say we are the government that's in place. Let me tell you something. It's a failed one, and there will be a president, Miguna. And with that kind of attitude, you're not going to be able to work with the central government.
It's a failed one, and I'm ready to say it's a failed one.
You're saying the county government.
Kenyans,
you're saying
the government itself,
Kenyans, listen to me. Kenyans,
it's
at the county government.
Then?
No, listen, you're jumping all over. You can't make me what I run for.
Okay.
I run for what I want to run for. Listen, the problem with this country are people like Passaris, Kidero, and the rest who have made up their minds that there is a lower standard for Africa and Kenya and Nairobi, that there are things we cannot do, there are things we cannot become. Citizens of Nairobi cannot ride in a subway system because it cannot be done. Other people have done it. They were not created after Africans. God did not create Caucasians first, and then he woke up one day and said, let me create Africans. Kenya was not created after New York or after US. Nairobi did not come into being after Bangkok or after Amsterdam, like I said. All these places were created once in the same time.
Okay, we're going to take a break, come back. Willie, let's go to the tweet. Let's read that tweet. Hold that thought, Miguna. Hold that thought. I feel you, man. I feel you. But Ike Kenneth says, Miguna Miguna has good ideas, but he's going nowhere.
Yes, because he is not supporting me. That's an ODM diehard that comes there to throw stones. I expect the stones. I have no problem. I cannot respond to it. Let him support the cartels. But we are going to drain them whether they like it or not.
Joel Obunga says, that bench is damn hot. Miguna is explosive. Passaris is a tough lady. On that note, let's take a break. Come back. Let's talk about education, youth, housing, garbage.
Correct.
How's that?
Good.
Let's do that.
I'm ready.
I know you are. Drain the swamp. Keep tweeting at Miguna Miguna, at Esther Passaris. Why don't you two run as a team?
I would never work with him.
I was just asking. At Koinage Jeff.
I can't run with cartels.
You know, I can't wait.
The hashtag
the suit.
is race for
Because you don't know law,
Nairobi
therefore you think you can
or
sue.
You have never
Miguna
been in
drain
a
the
court in
swamp.
Kenya.
You brought it on, my dear.
Yes.
You can't sue because of this.
I can.
You came on live TV.
Yes.
You guys go on
You
a
don't
break.
know that your lawyers
but
will
you
not
know,
tell you
that doesn't
that.
allow
See you in a
to be
minute.
You can't come on live
cannot
TV.
be
You invited.
Welcome back to Jeff Koinage, live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. If you're just joining us, you've missed fire. This bench has been literally on fire. By the way, you see that piece of paper there we're pointing at right now? Well, that's a piece of paper that Esther Passaris served Miguna Miguna for defamation, or her lawyers rather, and he just took it and ripped it up.
She purported that she served me. I don't know what she served.
That's the kind of show
I'm
we've
not
been
touching
having.
garbage.
That's the kind of show we've been having, and I tell you, fire extinguisher is just not enough. We are talking issues. We're talking the two candidates out of a whole bunch of them, about a dozen, who want to be governor of county number 47, Nairobi County. And clearly, they don't like each other. Tweets coming in thick and fast. Jay Bet, let's read them over there on that LG OLED 4G TV we have, but we don't say, we just whisper. Jay Bet says, it's possible, what was he saying? It's possible to have a light rail system in Nairobi. Ask Addis Ababa. It took 3 years and $475 million.
And I'll do it here. And people will wake up and they will not know they are in Nairobi.
Steve Ochene says, a lot of chemistry between Miguna and Passaris. Get a room already.
That's rubbish.
Sir Me Boy says, Miguna can pass for a Kenyan MCA. He looks combative, just as they come. Okay. Oh, Ekai Nabenyo says, I totally agree with Miguna. We have set the bar very low for ourselves as Africans. Folks, let's just zoom ahead and go to another issue. Education. You spoke about the school you went to in Dandora.
Jeff,
You spoke about classrooms which are made of mabati, kids sitting on the ground and learning. And that's why Nairobi County never, I mean, it's dropped from #1 in the country to way down below. What are you going to do about education, Esther?
you know, for me, already we're giving free education, but we're not giving the infrastructure for that free education. And then we also have another problem, Jeff. In Embakasi, when I was on the ground talking to the people, trying to get the feedback on what people want from their leader, I realized that we've got a lot of foreigners in this country. And most of the public schools are not even being able to be occupied by Kenyans themselves. So we do have a problem with an influx of foreigners taking these houses and getting the prices of housing to go up, taking the positions in the schools, and then the Kenyans are left to go to the alternative schools, the community-based schools.
So foreigners are the problem?
We do have to deal with it. Just like Trump is saying we have to deal with a lot of people that are illegally here, I think Kenya has that problem as well, a massive problem. And a lot of Kenyans are struggling and have no solution to that problem. So, you know, by going to the ground and talking to the people, you get to understand the problems. And for me, that's going to give me the mandate that I need from the people to solve them. Every one of the 85 wards has different issues. Okay?
Miguna.
See, the problem
Education.
the problem with contesting this seat with people who have not even read the Constitution is because they do not know that really most of the education is not a county jurisdiction. It is not. And building schools is not one of them. So unfortunately for me, the only thing I'll deal with respect to education, because counties only deal with elementary, not even elementary, before primary school, right? Pre-primary. So you can't build schools. So Esther is talking rubbish, really, because you can't.
But you must admit the standard has gone down.
It's gone down.
Hold on.
So let me give you the solution.
Go on.
No, so she's talking about refugees.
Can you build a road network?
Please,
is that in the county
yes,
government?
I can.
No, it's not.
Within the city.
Let's hear the solution.
Within the city,
What's
I
the
can.
solution?
So I can
The solution is
build
this.
schools
Go on.
within the city.
You can't.
Why not?
Because it is not in the Constitution. Read the Constitution. Let me answer the question. I'm going to give scholarships to bright students. That one is allowed. And I'm going to give 20,000 scholarships annually.
From where?
For bright
From
students.
where?
It's already happening anyway.
From your county?
From
From your
the
kitty?
county, yes.
From your kitty?
From my kitty.
He has so
And
much money, he's going to rob a bank.
Yes, I will. I will have very creative, very innovative ways to encourage. Tom Mboya was a minister of planning, was not minister of finance, was not a rich man, and he organized the airlifts. And a lot of people, including Obama's father, went there courtesy of Tom Mboya. There are many ways a leader can source for funds to help poor students and a lot of youth that are struggling
Let me come
to
back
pay
to that.
their tuition.
20,000 scholarships
20
for the poorest of the poor
per year
to go.
to study at university level, both here and abroad.
What about below that?
Yes,
What about
exactly.
the Kanjo schools?
You see, the Kanjo schools do not fall under the county government. And so what you will do, let me tell you
Are they
what I
city
will
council
do.
schools?
No. Let me tell you what I will do. No, education is not a devolve mandate. It is not. So let me tell you what I will do on education. What you do is when you create jobs and you create financial independence of the people, and they have economic base, and the city is prosperous and thriving, the schools will have a ripple effect on that. The people will also have choices on where they take their children. Right now, you have that choice, she has that choice, I have that choice, but the majority of the people do not have that choice because they are not economically independent. So you have the cartels that are giving handouts to people, but they are not creating an economic, prosperous foundation for the people to grow. That's how I will deal with that problem. Then, of course, you can also negotiate with the national government, which has the jurisdiction, and collaborate with them to improve that. But to say, I'm going to do that when it is not under your mandate is wrong.
But this collaboration, I mean, Esther was saying the
How
same
can
thing.
he have a collaboration when he's rubbishing the government?
This is my vision.
Honestly?
I did not rubbish the national government.
Oh, really?
I said Kidero was stolen. You cannot twist my word. And unfortunately,
I think you need to
Passaris,
rewind
you
when
have
you
very
get back
little
and listen.
education, so you
Really?
can't even twist my
Let me tell
words.
you something. You know, you keep telling me I have little
No,
education.
you have.
What have you done,
You have.
Miguna? Up to now, what have you done for Nairobians? I have lit Nairobi. I have sponsored a number of students to school. I have actually gone and helped in the where there's
Esther,
problems. I
hold
am there. What
Hold on.
have you ever done?
What have you done?
What have you
Esther,
ever
let
done
me
in
tell you
Nairobi?
what I have
What's your
done.
Let him
track
answer.
record?
Let
Let me tell you what
What's
I
your
have
track
done.
record?
Let me tell you what I've
Yes.
done.
What have you
I
done?
fought for your freedom so that you can
Oh,
come on this bench
give me a
and
break. You're
talk.
not, really?
Let
You
me
fought for our
speak.
freedom? How come
Can
you were
I
not
speak?
named by
Esther,
Uhuru?
Esther, let him
Can I
answer.
speak?
Let him
Oh,
answer.
please.
When Esther was hiding under the bed and singing Kanu Juu, Nyayo Juu Juu Kabisa, I was fighting for multi-party democracy. When Esther was nowhere to be seen, I was fighting for the new constitution. So now she has a Bill of Rights.
Really?
No, listen.
I mean,
Can
the
I
new
finish?
constitution, I was part of the
Can
Yes
I
team
finish?
in the Ministry of Justice. You were nowhere
Can
there.
I finish?
You were nowhere there. Don't even pretend that you fought for the new constitution.
I please
You
finish?
are lying. You know,
Can I
you're lying.
You're a liar.
Can I finish?
Yes,
You're
finish.
a liar.
Let him finish.
Can I please finish?
Please.
New constitution?
Let him
Where
finish.
was he?
Jeff,
Were you yes or no?
Let him finish.
Jeff,
Were you yes or no?
Jeff,
Really?
Jeff, can I finish?
Go.
Oh,
We
Jeff,
said that
baby.
there was a
Can I finish, Jeff?
ground rules that we don't interrupt each other.
Oh,
I
really?
don't interrupt.
You have been
Passaris.
interrupting throughout.
Can she please not interrupt
Okay.
me?
Oh, please.
Make your
let me
point.
finish.
Make your
Make
point.
your point.
Only a fool
You are so full of insults.
Esther, let him finish.
Can I finish?
No, Jeff, let me tell you
Let
something.
him finish.
The show has to have integrity.
You know what?
He's
Let him
full of
say what he's
insults.
going to say. Go.
He's full of insults. And you also cannot tolerate this. Your show is losing credibility because of characters like him.
Why?
Because he's rude and obnoxious.
How is he
All right,
rude?
and disrespectful.
You're rude by interrupting him.
No, that is, let me tell you, that is the lesser crime.
Let him talk.
That is the lesser
Say what
crime.
you're saying, Miguna.
Only a fool does not know that
You entertain
I
that?
was Raila's advisor during the constitutional review process. Only a fool.
He didn't call you a fool.
Only a fool
Really?
would say that I was not the ODM representative in the Yes team. Only a fool would say that I was not in Mombasa during all the consultative meetings, that I was not in Nairobi during all the consultative meetings, and I was not in Naivasha. Only a fool would say that. It is all documented. I fought for the new constitution. Now, if somebody says that is not good, a constitution is less because they lit some street, let me say this. Esther Passaris Adopt a Light is a private company. There are a lot of engineers building roads here because they are engineers and they are contracted to build roads. They cannot come on the bench and say, I built road. You are paid to build a road on behalf of the government.
But she did
I
like the
was
city.
not paid.
She
She
did
did
like
not
the city.
like
I
no
was
city.
not paid. I was not paid
The
by the
city is
county
still in
government.
darkness.
Really?
And the city, so Esther Passaris got money from where?
Okay.
Let me
She
tell you.
borrowed money and she has not paid
Folks,
it back.
can we
In
move
fact,
to
she has
housing?
been
Can we
sued
move to housing?
For 68
Can we
million
move to housing?
by the Equity Bank.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. He has no facts. 68 million. Honestly, Miguna, you know, he reminds me of Donald Trump. After the debate, and they did a check on how much was lies and how much was truth, I mean, he failed on the test. And he's the same.
And he
he's
won the
just
election.
a liar. He's
And
just,
I'm going to
yes,
win
I'll
this
tell
one.
You are not going to win any election.
Oh, really?
In fact, if
So
anything,
even Trump
if you
did
don't
not
have
win.
money to pay for the
So Trump
defamation
did not
suit,
win.
let me tell you, he did win. All right, he did win. And I don't know if he's going to
Okay.
manage to survive
Folks,
the entire
folks,
term.
can we go to housing?
Yes, let's go to
Miguna,
housing.
what would you do? Because the slums are growing by the day. The numbers in the city are growing by the day.
Jeff,
What would you do?
Jeff, and of course anybody can say anything. I have it here. I have a very far-reaching plan on removing all the slums and replacing them with affordable housing that is affordable,
How are you going to do that?
that is humane.
How are you going to do that, Miguna?
Number one, Jeff, if you look at 100 billion, and by the way, the transitional team has said that between January and March 2013, Kenyans lost 143 billion, just assets that were lost. There is a lot of land that have been stolen. There is a lot of money that is being siphoned out of the system that is there. There is a lot of money that we are getting from parking that never reaches in the public coffers. I'm saying that if you block all these thieves where the money is getting out, and then you repossess the properties that have been acquired illegally, then you repatriate all the looted money that have been taken from Kenyans, plus the budget, plus cooperation or partnership by the private sector. Internationally and here, you will be able to unveil a very an affordable...
What would you do to Kibra? What would you do to Kibra?
Kibra is like any other slum. And I intend to have all these slums replaced with affordable housing.
Mukuru kwa Njenga, Mukuru
All
kwa
of them,
Ruben,
all
all
of them,
those
all the
slums up and down,
all the
you will
slums.
replace them with affordable
Yes,
housing.
yes, it has been done elsewhere. It has been done elsewhere.
This is not Canada.
No, but this, I mean, I don't know whether Kenya is in the moon or in Jupiter. Kenya is in the planet Earth, and Canada is on the planet Earth. And Canadians have been able to do it. Why do we say we can't? When I go to a Canadian court, and the judges don't take bribes, and the police officers don't take bribes, and nobody takes bribes.
Okay,
and and justice is, let me finish this. And justice is dispensed based on evidence, facts, and the law. So you can say, we'll always be corrupt because we are African, we are Kenyan, we'll never change. No. Every car you drive a Mercedes-Benz, I've seen your car. Where did it come from? Germany. But you're driving it right here in Kenya. That watch was not made in Kenya. These shoes we are wearing were not made in Kenya. These clothes, some of them were not made in Kenya. So that is good. You can get them from there. But if Miguna comes here with good ideas from Canada, you say, we don't want that. So you are just a consumer, a very primitive consumer who does not want development.
You deviated from housing, Miguna.
I'm saying the same ideas that I am saying the Canadians have used, the South Africans have used in some places like Cape Town. The same ideas that have been used in Sweden and Norway can be used here.
I must add that
and
Cape Town
to
has
use them here.
major slums.
Yes.
Kaelicha,
yes, but
Mitchell's
it's not
Plains.
as dirty as this. It's not as dirty as this. And I'm saying we can do better.
Okay. Esther, what would you do?
Housing, I think housing is going to be a joint initiative between government, county government, and the people of Kenya. All right, the citizens of Kenya. It is a very costly affair. It is not cheap. And one thing I want to say is that this country has been governed for the last 50 years. We are in very high debt right now, okay? And before you can say that the county government is going to deal with housing in one go, it's not realistic. It is better to start promising the people that we do have to deal with housing. We are going to deal with housing. We need low-cost housing. We need a lot of funding for housing. At the moment, I'm wondering, when the World Bank says that Kenya is overborrowed and they're raising red flags, I'm saying, where are we going to get all this money? So we need to actually get the private sector in. Now, when I lit Nairobi, I talked to private sector. I raised 500 million in a 5-year period, and we lit Nairobi. We never got any money from the county government. They didn't have money to light Nairobi.
There was no county government.
Well, there was a city council. It is a
but
county government
there was no
now.
county government.
All right, he's interrupting in case you didn't notice.
I just corrected you.
Okay.
It's
Let
the
her
same
finish.
thing.
I was
Same
helping you.
difference.
Let her finish.
Helping me, okay? I mean, look, Jeff, housing requires collaboration. I feel that it's wrong to come here and pretend that all of a sudden, once I become governor, I will do everything, all right? And I will get it all right. I mean, for me, when he's talking about putting the network, the transport network, I'm thinking, okay, so where is the government in all this planning? It's, you know, you need to actually have a vision that is realistic, steady, and long-term, all right? And I think housing has been neglected. If the government itself has only managed to do a section of Kibera, how are we going to get all the slums of Nairobi done? By actually having people understand that this is expensive and we need to borrow a lot of money. Can we borrow this money? It's a vision, it's a requirement, it will create jobs, but it has to be a collective action.
Okay. Before we get to garbage, which is the last topic. Hold on. Willie, tweet. Miguna, Mogaka Mali says, Jeff, a primitive consumer. Miguna just called Jeff a primitive consumer. Did you just call me primitive?
Yeah, like the rest of the so-called leaders who are saying it cannot be done. What I'm hearing, Jeff, is not a vision. You see, a leader...
Are you the only one with a vision?
No, I'm not the only one, but I'm one of them. And in Nairobi here, I'm the only one. All these putative people running around are just telling us roadblocks, how it is difficult, how it cannot be done. Then when they come to education, they say, we'll do it, and they know there is no mandate. So the thing is, you have people...
Is there a mandate for you to build houses?
Can I just finish? You have people, Jeff, unfortunately, with no dream. A leader without a vision and without a dream. Just like the governor came here, the outgoing one, and said he was a missionary. He does not realize we need a vision, not missionaries. But then the problem is that...
I think he said he was a mercenary.
Maybe he was, but he's a thief too. So the problem is that if you can't see, you can't have a dream, you can't have a vision, you can't borrow appropriately ideas and technology from other places, you will never develop. So the fact that it has not been done, let me say this, please. The fact that it has not been done for 55 years is not because it is difficult. It's not because it cannot be done. It's because we've had bad leaders.
But you cannot cut and paste ideas and policies from other places. It may not work here,
Okay,
Miguna.
let me tell you. You cannot tell me right now that if you want to build a plane, you will start originally without recognition that planes are already built and they are flying. That would be stupid.
What's your point?
Exactly.
My point is this. If you are going to please, if you are going to solve problems, and societies, there are societies that have solved that problem, it is important to study how those societies have done it.
Okay, end of topic.
Yeah.
Now
if
one
you
more.
don't
Wait,
do
wait.
that, then you're a fool.
Let's move to garbage.
Yes.
The city is a stinking city of garbage. It is a garbage heap.
Correct.
Which keeps getting worse.
It's a dump site.
All right, I mean,
Esther.
okay, I mean, we do have a lot of garbage and we're producing garbage on a daily basis. We have a bit of recycling going on in Kenya. Recycling is a very expensive exercise. It can be turned into energy. We've talked about moving Dandora to Ruai, and now we don't have that option. We need discipline in the people in terms of how to sort garbage from source so that by the time you take it to recycling, it's valuable. Otherwise, it's not valuable.
What are you going to do?
I mean,
You're going to outsource?
at the moment, garbage is outsourced in the county government. I think private partnerships are necessary. It's a shame that Jakorosi did not work, because maybe today we wouldn't be talking about garbage and recycling. And that's the problem with the county government. At that particular time, they were not able to have private public partnerships that worked. Okay? So for me, I think garbage requires a system, and I believe that it starts with source, dustbins everywhere. You can't tell people don't litter, and at the same time you have no dustbins. So you start putting in the infrastructure, and then you start getting a change in attitude.
Dandora dump
right?
site. What would you do?
Dandora dump site is a livelihood for a lot of people. And at the same time, you need to give them an alternative if you're going to take it away. All right? But at the moment, I think it can only be turned into energy. That's
Miguna,
it.
garbage.
When we were here the last time, and in my manifesto, it's very clear what I'm proposing. I'm proposing a solid waste management system. That's what I propose. And let me tell you what the mantra, this is scientific mantra in the world now, because I believe in international best standards for everything. So this one is reduce, reuse, recycle. That's what I'm going to encourage. Reduce, which means that if you're consuming, you reduce the use of certain products.
Okay.
You reuse some things that you can reuse. You recycle what needs to be recycled. But it has to be an integrated system, meaning that it's not just a question of collecting garbage and taking to a dump site. That is a primitive way of doing things. You will have to have a way of having garbage differentiated, meaning metals or plastic before they are completely banned and taken out of use, which I intend to do, and then the biodegradables. Everything will be taken to its stream for recycling and for reuse into society.
What would you do with Dandora?
And Dandora will be closed eventually. It has to be phased out. Dump sites are not within the integrated solid waste management system. So you have to bring Kenya to a stage where Kenya is doing things as it is done internationally, so that the environment is preserved, the people live in a clean environment, and these things can be used. The garbage that is now actually doing nothing can be used for power production, can be used for manure production, can be used for many other things. The water that is being lost, that just runs into, I guess, to the ground, will have to be captured through storm sewers and sewage systems and will be recycled.
Okay, stop there.
So I'm proposing a modern, integrated, solid waste management system.
Okay, real quick.
Yeah.
In order to get to City Hall,
Yes.
you're going to need a ton of cash. The kind of money that Kidero probably has. None of you have that kind of money. How do you expect to get to City Hall without any money, Miguna?
Okay, let me tell you this.
Real
First
quick,
of all,
real quick.
No, you can't say real quick like that, because I have to speak. First of all, you can't say no money, because you didn't bring me here. All right? And you don't fly me to Canada to practice
You
law.
have no money compared to Kidero.
Of course, so you compare. Mandela had no money compared to the apartheid
You are
system.
no Mandela.
No, I could be a Mandela.
You're not.
He was born like me. Okay?
Did you spend 27 years in jail?
No, but so only those who spent 27 years in jail can be similar to Mandela. Don't argue with me, you're a moderator. Let me make my point. You are not standing for governor and you're not debating with me.
Miguna,
Let me present.
go on.
Let me present my vision. All right? Obama did not have money, and he defeated Hillary Clinton and others. He defeated the Republican money machine. He defeated the entire...
You see, there you go again. This is not America, my
listen,
friends.
please. Listen. When Jomo Kenyatta stood for president here, Jomo Kenyatta did not have the same home I have up to now. Jomo Kenyatta was completely unemployed and had spent time in jail, came from Britain without a penny. Jomo Kenyatta was being fed by Oginga Odinga. That's the truth. All right? He became the president of Kenya. How did he become? Did money make him president? In 2002.
50 years ago.
No, so what? In 2002, okay, Kibaki became president and Moi had more money than Kibaki. Money does not win anybody an election. In the American election that just ended, Trump did not raise as much money as Hillary, regardless of his private funds. In America, you cannot use private funds to run for the presidency. You must raise funds. So bottom line, money wins you no election.
And you think you can win this without money?
I'm going to win this without the kind of money Kidero has. His money is stolen. The press must start saying that. The press cannot vanish Kidero's theft or Sonko's drug dealing or all these cartels who have stolen public funds and are now using it to acquire power so that they can perpetuate the culture of impunity in Kenya. I am saying no, and there are millions of Kenyans saying no with me. And whether you stand here because you work for the cartel media house, telling me these things because the cartels want you to tell me, I'm going to tell you...
What makes you think they would want to tell me? I'm asking you a question,
I'm going to tell you...
I'm asking you a question.
My friend, my brother Jeff...
Just because you don't like the question, now you're calling me a cartel?
A cartel surrogate. And let me tell you this. I tell you to your face. I tell you to your face, Jeff, I'm going to win. I'm going to win with the multitude of youths. I'm going to win with the multitude of women. I'm going to win with the multitude of the unemployed youth. I'm going to win with Kenyans who cannot afford proper health care because the cartels have stolen everything. I'm going to win with the unemployed, and I will win, and I will invite you to the inauguration.
And you're very sensitive, gentlemen. People ask you tough questions.
Yes, I'm very sensitive.
Keep quiet.
And I crush the cartels when they need to be crushed.
Passaris, where are you getting your money?
Jeff, first of all, I have a lot of friends who believe in me and in my leadership. But the most important thing is I've been in this city and I've worked in this city. I've walked every slum in Nairobi. I'm actually on the ground right now, meeting people, talking to them, solving some of the problems. Like I solved the problem in the school in Kayole, where they had their school demolished. Like I went to Kangemi Market, where they had the fire. And I'm understanding the issues. For me, winning this election is about going door to door, walking and talking to the people and telling them that I can make a difference to their lives. And I believe that I'm giving them realistic hope, because I don't want to give them promises, because everybody gives promises. I want to actually be the kind of leader that shows you solutions. And I have the track record. As I said, I actually had a vision to light up Nairobi. I put everything in place. I did light up Nairobi. Right now the government has taken it and it's working. The city is lit. The slums are getting lit. And you know what? After 10 or 15 years of a lighting initiative, we still haven't lit everywhere. So for me, everything takes stages and it takes time. And we as citizens of this country, we have to understand that development doesn't happen overnight. Right now, I want to tell you something, Jeff. We have such huge problems. Like if you look at Mombasa, all the hotels are empty. There are no tourists. We have a problem as a country that we need to attract investments and we need to attract dollar earnings into our country so that we can actually be able to serve the people. So there's a lot of work to be done, and I want Kenyans to understand that it's not going to happen overnight. We do have problems, we do have challenges, and I am here to offer solutions that are realistic and that are timely.
Okay, folks, we're about to end this show. We've overrun this show, but we're about to end. And I'm going to borrow a leaf from someone who was in one of the debates between Trump and Clinton. And that person got up and asked, say something nice about the other person. Miguna, I'm going to start with you. Say something nice about Passaris, something positive. Go on, you got 30 seconds.
Something nice or something positive. They are two different things.
Whichever. As long as you don't abuse her.
Well, you call her Supu. I don't abuse her. You call her Supu. So that could be nice. Depending on who's saying it.
Esther, say something nice about him.
Miguna, I think he has really mastered the art of deception, and he is very good at it.
Is that nice?
And he is, yeah, the art of deception. That's all that he has mastered. And, you know, it's a quality that he has and he embraces. And, you know, I don't see it taking him very far, but it's a quality that he has kind of enhanced in himself.
Folks, gonna have to leave it at that.
That was supposed to be positive. No closing arguments?
Well, let's read Jamelo's tweet over there. Willie, look at Jamelo. He says, Atiwewe pia ni cartel. In Kenya, we are finished. Miguna is the real deal. Hey, yawa.
They are all coming for you, Jeff.
Who's they?
You either join us or we are sweeping you, but I'm going to drain this swamp I'm draining.
Which swamp?
This swamp where you are swimming.
You're Trump, aren't you?
Trump is my student.
You're Trump without the money.
Trump is my student who became a thief.
Oh, he's also cartel.
He's a cartel.
Okay, listen, what a joke. Tomorrow night, you mentioned Tom Boyer earlier on and his airlift, right?
Yes.
Tomorrow night, right here, we're going to have a Kidero on the bench.
A Kidero.
Dr. Susan Mboya Kidero.
Let Kidero come here himself.
Listen to me, Miguna, relax. Dr. Susan Mboya Kidero with her Zawadi Foundation and the girls that she's helped go to America to be the best of the best of the best. That's tomorrow night. A lot of them will inspire you, especially young ladies out there. They've done an incredible job with the Zawadi Foundation. I tell you, they've been to the best colleges and they're coming out tops. That's tomorrow night, right here.
Fantastic.
On Inspiration Thursday. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Will you at least please shake hands before we go? Just shake hands, please.
No.
This is Hillary Trump.
Yes, Passaris.
No.
I'll shake your hand.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miguna.
Yes.
Thank you, Esther.
Thank you.
Keep tweeting at Miguna Miguna, at Esther Passaris, at Koinage Jeff. The hashtag Race for Nairobi. Or if you prefer, Miguna, drain the swamp. Thanks so much for joining us. Good night. Good luck. God bless this city and county.